Hello, guys. I'm just gonna comment about the whole Autosell debacle that is going on with NGS itself. Yeah, I'm also in the same boat as everybody else as well. I'm also disagreeing that the Autosell feature shouldn't cost 500 star gems at the first place. Let me explain why. It's actually all comes to the gameplay design. Now you see, back in base PSO2, we can choose not to pick up trash drops at all. And in the options, you can actually set if you are going to pick up, higher rarity items only, like for example, 7 star and above. And in NGS, we are forced to loot everything that the mobs and bosses drop. And I mean, I understand that this is much more convenient because we can just keep on, hunting monsters and bosses non-stop. But at the same time, because of how much the 1 to 3 star equipments drop in frequently, so it actually in turn created an unnecessary issue that is clogging everyone's inventory. Now, you would expect them to provide us with an auto sell for free, but they didn't. But I believe they have a reason to not letting the auto sell as a free feature at the first place. Now, reason being, not not only auto sell could actually be abused by our empty bots. I mean, we always had known that this is going to be an issue at first place. Yeah, that's why they are charging something. That's why they are charging it with SG. But the problem is, the Sega management team has realized that if they were to give autosell as a feature to everybody in the game, they are afraid that they are going to make the rest of the extra storage inventory or all of the inventory and storage convenience options in the AC shop to be rendered completely useless. So, what does it mean? Well, it's actually pretty simple. Okay, now imagine that you are a veteran player who has paid for all the AC inventory increments and also probably has whaling on like multiple extra storage slots, like the extra storage 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. Yeah, I believe there is definitely some certain players who can afford all of this monthly on a monthly or multi-month basis. That they are always like a hoarding kind of a player. And then one day, Sega suddenly, put out this auto sell feature as a bundle in with as a free feature for premium users. And coincidentally, this player who has been purchasing all these storage conveniences would just realize, hey, I guess I don't really need to renew all these, storage units, I guess, anymore because I can just automatically sell all these trash drops, right? So I don't really have to like manage my future NGS drops anymore. I guess I'll just keep my storage units until they expire, and I won't, and I don't really need to waste money on buying them anymore, I guess. So if you apply this to everybody who has since purchased, the conveniences of extra inventory slots and extra storage units, though all of those buyers, all of those AC players, or those people who actually spend money on buying all these AC conveniences would stop spending on them completely, and that will be actually be considered as a revenue loss from the AC shop. Now, especially in such a free to play friendly game like Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis, you wouldn't expect, this is to be an issue. However, as you can see currently, that the only way for them to earn money is from either AC Scratch, SG Scratch, or players buying SG or AC. And if they suddenly depreciate a lot of the features in the AC shop, that will be an issue for their revenue gain monthly. And I can see that maybe somebody in the higher ups in the Sega management has advised them to not render all these storage units or storage expansion to be totally useless with this Autosell feature. Hence why they are trying to remedy that issue by just gating it behind SG and gating it behind premium option. Free-to-play players are definitely getting annoyed just because of this oversight that they are doing currently. Now, it shouldn't be that expensive at all, but unfortunately, these are all just issues that has been created from the game design. Now, I know that if they allow items to be on the floor, that it would actually create more inconveniences. Like it would actually create a lot more graphical, how to say, it would actually create optimization issues for a lot of older PCs, and it would render a lot more lag in the game because there's a lot more items on the ground, especially in PSC bursts. And I believe the devs actually realize this as base PSO2. Whenever you are doing PSC bursts, there will be tons of items dropping on the floor, and they realize how clutter it would look like in the game. Hence why they are removing the features of they are just remove the features of items dropping on the ground, like in base PSO2, into completely auto looting in NGS. And if only they allow us to choose what items we loot in our auto looting. I mean, like for example, if the enemy constantly drops the 1 to 3 star weapons, they might as well just disappear into thin air because we don't really need them anymore, and just allow us to, loot just the important stuff like higher rarity items and all the materials that is dropped from the enemies instead of actually, letting us loot every single trash drop from the enemy drops. However, this is also an issue because you see, some players are probably trying to sell all these trash drops to convert them into meseta. So I believe Autosell in the end is still a necessity in NGS because of this complicated game design that they decided to go with. So what I think they can actually solve this issue is just first, just reduce the price of the Autosell feature. Once they reduce it to maybe something like 200 SG or below, I think bots wouldn't be able to, abuse it, because to maintain this every monthly, they had to play consistently to earn enough SG. Or if they really, really wanted to keep the 500 SG cost, add more side activities for us to earn SG more consistently in New Genesis. And instead of like players had to be forced to go back to the old base PSO2 game in order to earn SG. I know there's ways for you to earn SG consistently in base PSO2, but really a lot of people probably just don't really want to return back to that old game because it's already in a maintenance mode. Why do you want to go back to that old gameplay style when people just prefer to be in this new game, right? So that is my take on this whole Autosell debacle, and I believe is, despite being such a minor issue, I believe anything that is correlating to being a problem to a lot of free-to-play players out there is always going to be a problem that we should voice out against bad practices like this. So we definitely need to take care of our free-to-play players, because if you don't allow this game to be free-to-play friendly, there will be no more players playing this game anymore. Like, I mean, if you look at the player base, player counts, I believe you understanding that this game is already at such a bleak state. Unless you are catering it for like everybody, nobody is going to play the game. Even the veterans would actually leave the game if you constantly do bad decisions like this. Hopefully Sega will understand and they will be able to resolve this issue in the near future. Thank you very much. Please leave a like and subscribe if you like my content. and it will actually help me very much. Okay, じゃあね。